We are talking about marine grades cables today. Cables that you are using in your boat. Yeah, it's very boring subject. I will try to make it a kind of fun for you. I am not sure if I will succeed. In any case, I have time codes in the description below. You can just jump on the subject you are interested in. So, and yeah, it's boring, but that is the main things you need to know, and you have to know them about the cables because you will use them a lot, and a lot of different cables in your board. Let's try. And we will test them also at real cold, -30. Now it's not so cold and not so much snow, but when I was tested, it was really cold. Let's go straight to the subject first. What is the right marine grade cable? The right marine grade cable is the one that is tinned copper, tinned, not just copper, multiconductor with insulation that doesn't absorb water. Well, isn't it any insulation is like that? No, actually. So you can have rubber insulation specifically to put under the water and so on. We will get back to this. But the main point, it should be flexible. Well, not the main. The main is tinned copper. If it's not tinned, it will oxidize. I will now show you, at my surprise, in this Mercury outboard, the cables are done not with tinned copper, just with copper. I really was surprised. It was my another project, and I will include now, without any words, a few seconds of how this cable was oxidized. It was just a copper. You may think it's not so important, but it is. So I will include a couple or maybe more video how other marine grade product manufacturers use the right marine grade cable in their products. I actually, during my winter project, had more examples of the right and wrong cables for marine industry in the marine products, but I lost this material and I have only few samples. For example, that is the wrong one, and I will now include them. Look for another example of understanding on marine cables. So this British pump for autopilot, and it comes with the right cables, tinned copper. There is another example of true marine cables, 14 gauge marine. Yeah, so this is from Lenco tabs, and it is tinned copper. Yeah, so true marine cable, actually not that soft, maybe kind of better. This is from Lenca tab. Yeah, some piece that I don't need. I will use this for speakers. Couple more important notes I recalled when I start reviewing other cables. The marine cable should also be UV resistant and also oil resistant, because we have sun and we have oil in our boats, petrol. Yeah, so these two things are also important. So I hope it's clear about the right marine grade cable. Yeah, so however, there are two reasons why it might be difficult to find the right one. The first one is that it's difficult to find the right one. For example, here in Finland we have about a couple thousand options, and nothing like that, nothing. So I have to buy from the US, from Amazon.com, from Ancor. And that is the really nice cable, yeah, the right one with different options for diameter, for gauge. Yeah, so, and the second reason might be that just one conductor is not enough for you. For example, you want to drop a cable, multi-conductor cable, in that case 12 conductors Yeah, it goes here through this corrugated pipe, or in America I think you call this loom. It goes here. You want to do something like from the back side to the middle, or somewhere else in the board. Yeah, and it's quite difficult or almost impossible to find tinted copper. If you can, let me know, but I think you can't. How to solve this problem if you need multi-conductor and you cannot find the tinted copper? Well, then you use just copper, and the only solution then to seal it well, to use the right cable lugs and the right shrinking tubes. I have 2 videos about this subject. The links are there in the description below. Fully covered subjects. The right, okay, I will tell a little bit. The right marine grade cable lug, again the tinted copper without inspection hole, and the right marine grade shrink tubing is with the glue, with the adhesive layer. So you fully seal it. No moisture, no water ingress inside. So look these 2 videos. They cover this subject entirely. Let's start reviewing different types of cables and start from the right one. Actually, I already told this Ancor marine grade cable. If you are in the US, or probably in the UK, probably in Australia, I don't know, or even in Europe as me, you can buy this. Fortunately, Amazon itself sell it, so you can order this. So that will be the right marine grade cable. They don't pay me to say this. They don't even know about me. And I have different options here. Yeah, so yeah. They say that their insulation is very unique, good for the cold conditions. Hey guys, I already tested it. It will be, the subject will follow about testing in the cold environment. Well, it's good cable. Okay, yeah. And so these Ancor marine grade cables, of course, I used here for the main power entrance. You can see this red and black. Everything is covered in previous episodes. And there you can see black and red. So everything where I need to distribute high power to the junction box, or again to the junction box under the floor. You should see the box there and the cables there. So that's where I use them, single core cables. Discussed American cables, and now let's talk about Chinese. Well, they actually have quite good kits. This one for gauge 16 and that one for gauge 14, about 1.5, about 2.5 millimeters square. So silicone cables, and this sets for some small stuff. And when you do some wiring of the panels, as I'm doing here for the board, so parallel projects, winter is not yet finished, so you can use this. It is a multi-conductor tinted copper, and it's really soft and self-extinguished. Is it the right word? So that's the first thing you need to test when you buy Chinese cables or plastic. So, and I tested, wonderful. So it's really good cable. You can use this for small things. I bought it on Amazon. I don't know where you can find it now. Actually quite difficult to find it there. So I'm not sure this will be exactly this kit. Okay, here. You can rotate your head 180 degrees instead of me rotating for you. Okay, so the good option. By the way, I found prices for them. Both sets are about €30. You can see how many, what is the length, the total length here. Not so much, and of course they are not suitable for high power. Yeah, so it's just for small things. And just remember, silicone. I think it's silicone. I feel it's like silicone, and also because it's 200 degree. Here say silicone, and here say PVC. Well, so I think it's probably for different cables. But silicone is usually, not usually, but in most cases, not petrol resistant and not oil resistant, I guess. So I don't think anything about oil, petrol, and UV resistant for these cables. I think they are not well, but at least they are self-extinguished, so they are good for these things. So you can use them in small. I think you can use. It's just I just show you that this HuLuWa cable exists, and you can decide yourself. What if you don't have access to the right marine grade cable, oil resistant, fuel resistant, UV resistant, and everything resistant, this English resistant? In that case, you have an option. I found very interesting option to use solar panel cables. For example, I will give more information now. For example, here we have this part number. This is for solar panels wiring from LAPP group, quite popular, at least here in Europe. This is Italian, I guess, yeah. So they understand that this is for weather outside, outdoor weather conditions. It's tinned copper, a little bit stiff. Insulation is fine, double insulation, of course, because this is for high voltage. Let's take a look on parameters. Corrosion resistant, because it's tinned copper. Acid resistant, well, usually we don't need this in the board. Voltage, of course, we don't need high voltage. Temperature resistant, UV resistant, waterproof, these things we need. And guys, look, they allow this to be put directly to the ground, to the professional made trench. And here AD8, permanent water contact, submersion down to 1 meter in water depth. Then another set of icons that I didn't get well if this is another modification or the same, yeah, where we also can see flame retardant, of course, yeah, cold resistant, nice. And we can see here, where we can see it here, chemical resistant. So guys, probably it is oil and fuel resistant. I'm not sure. So might be that may be the only bad point, oil and fuel resistant, if it doesn't exist for this cable. Otherwise, it's a perfect alternative for you if you don't have other options to buy. I think you always can buy solar cables in your country. This model is up to 16 millimeters or gauge 6, no 25 unfortunately, so not high power. I think in solar power industry you cannot find anyway bigger than 16, so you will need again to find the right cable for the main power entrance. Then let's take a look. It's happened that I bought another 2 cables from Amazon without looking this LAPP, just ÖLFLEX solar. And when I got them and start researching, where it's like where it is written, here, like ÖLFLEX solar, blah blah blah. It's designed this way with double cables. They are easy to disconnect. Color grading is inside. They are also tinned copper. And then I found that this is the same LAPP group, but another cable option. And look here. So you cannot use them directly in the ground. You should put them in some protection conduits. So basically in the corrugated pipe. So let's talk about it. So guys, this cable is fine, but if we speak about some other cables, what is corrugated pipes? I used them a lot because actually I protect all cables, plastic cables with them, especially under the floor where I have water very often. and in your bilge area you probably, this is drainage hole, so you have water, so everything in the corrugated pipe, they will protect, they are resistant to the water. So guys, so finally, that's the good option for you, solar panel cables. And if you find the one that doesn't require protection, then it's probably even better. Otherwise, the next option will be rubber cables. I will now probably include recorded early material about this cable with tinned copper and another one. And if I said something wrong there, I will fix it after that part. If you need your cable to be in the water constantly, for example, I don't know, in the bilge area or somewhere else, then you have to use the rubber cable, because PVC, plastic insulation, it's absorb water anyway. It's not allowed usually to put to the water, but the rubber with tinned copper you will not find. I don't know where you can find it, so I initially thought that I will use that one. It is top cable, it's quite popular, top cable made in Spain, Xtrem series, yeah, different type. It's usually this H07RN, something like that. So yeah, that you can keep directly in the water, no problem. You don't need to protect it with any corrugated pipes. I rejected this idea. I decided not to use this. It's quite heavy. Where the bending properties, I will include it to the test in the cold later. But guys, it's not about the right marine grade cable. It's just about the cable that you can put directly to the water. You can do it if you wish, or you can protect them with the corrugated pipes, the right cable with the inside the corrugated pipe. Rubber cable for one conductor is possible to find. For example, here I found this Kabeltec rubber cable, German one. They use this in trains. This is either for 3 or 6 kilovolts. At least they have both options. I don't want now to look what exactly option I have, because in my boat we don't have 3 or 6 kilovolts, as you understand. So for 16 millimeters, the price, my price, 4.22 euro per meter. I didn't buy Ancor because I don't need so much. I need only 3 meters. That's why I was looking what option is available here. I found that one. The good point is that it's standalone cable. You don't need to protect it with corrugated pipe because it's rubber cable, yeah. So, and double insulation, and for high voltage, really high voltage. In the same time, it's heavy. Then it takes more space for just this. I think is 6 millimeters. So it's up to you. It's up to your project. I just show you the option that you can use in the boat quite well. I found this piece of cable in 16 millimeters. Yeah, you can see for 3 kilovolts, 16 millimeters, or gauge 6. Yeah, this rubber cable. It's standalone cable. Yeah, you can see how fat, how thick is insulation. I supposed to use it to drop load negative bus from the main switch box from the first one to the second one, yeah, as a standalone. But then when I designed power consumption monitoring system with 2 ampemeters, if you watched my previous episode, you know what I mean. I don't think it's blinking here. You probably don't see it. So it happened that I actually need to drop also poor negative bus from the battery with this Ancor smaller gauge cable. So that's why I need corrugated pipe in that case. And as long as I need corrugated pipe, I decided to give up with this cable to keep this 2 or 3 meters piece for the future reference. And I found another one cable. I will show you now. So here is this another cable. It's also gray, however, it can be in different color. In that case, it's brown. Here is load grounds and loads positive. So it's tinned copper. You should now see if it will focus. Yeah, tinned copper. It's a little bit stiff. Insulation, well, it looks like thick, but it's a kind of thin. It's easy to remove insulation. Insulation is a kind of rubberized, something like that. I think it's Italian company again, yeah, because here is Italiano Vero. So it's UL certified for different machines, not so much here. You can find in any gauge. So in my case 16 or gauge 6, 3.3 euro per meter, not so bad. I really like this cable and how to work with that, because I was needed just a small piece of 16 millimeters. That's why I bought it instead of a full spool of Ancor from the US. So I bought it locally. Just keep in mind that that cable also exists. I will now include recorded earlier material about these types of cables. Yes, so since the time I recorded, I got more options like multiconductor, different gauges, the same type, actually not different types, but the different color sometimes. Yeah, just one actually. So, and why I decided that I will use these cables also for marine in the boat, and what it is. So just watch that material I collected before earlier. Let's talk about totally different cables, which are called control cables. So they are used, you can Google, I don't tell a lot about them, but you can research. They are used for creating automation systems. So they are highly resistant to all stuff like oil, heat, almost everything. So they are usually colored this way. These are from different brands with different amount of wires inside. So you can get them 18 or even more cables inside. The feature that I found is useful for board application, that they are all round, even like, for example, if I take for 2 wires, and it means that I can easily put them through different cable glands, for example. You can see this in my project about music and new speakers, where I am going to use these 4 wires 2.5 millimeters, which is a gauge, I think it's 14. Sorry, I a little bit forgot about it. And this is also, it's quite hard because it's also screened. So there is, we will soon open and you will see. So round means that I can put through the gland and very well sealing, and it will go to my new speakers. And yeah, instead of having a lot of cables, I can have just one with 12 or something in any gauge basically, and put it from, yeah, so here is the board. Yeah, the board where it's going to be. So for example, if I have some electricity here and I want to put a big bus with a lot of cables to there, I would like to use this kind of cables because it's convenient. And yeah, so they resistance to everything. Well, it's, of course, it's copper, multi-wires, and it's not tinned. Yeah. Well, that's maybe not so bad. Let's take a look on what is written here. Yeah, so you can see some brands, some names. Here was, what was it, XBK cable from Global Flex, and here we have what do we have here? Cable ÖLFLEX, this kind of cable. So it's again XBK, again Global Flex. Yeah, the most popular, probably, at least here in Finland. Here is what Flex is here. Yes, again Global Flex for 12, yeah, 12, 2.5. For the price, they are not bad. So for a okay price, well, depend if you buy this like from the company where you have account or just from the shop. So guys, after all, I just want to say that I think these are very good options for both applications. It's not that easy to buy a marine cable here in Europe. So in the US you have Ancor, I think, the company which produced them. But again, you won't find like 12, for example, or 18, or any amount you wish together. You have rubber cables. Yeah, I don't know if I already covered them or will in this video. They usually like electric cable for something like 7, for example, the maximum, but you don't need them actually. So if this cable is designed for automation in industry, so they are industrial in very harsh conditions, so they should be good for boats as well, for marine application. That's my opinion. Say me in comments if you think differently. Let's finally open some of them and we'll see how they color grade them. So as you can see, this screening, there is also some plastic. I don't know the purpose of this. You can see, yep, that's how you call this, not thread, I don't remember this English word. So, but this is for pushing, opening insulation. Yeah, one is colored for the ground and another 3 are just by numbers. Numbers. Let me first see them myself, because I never seen yet. There should be some numbers. I will show you later, because I want to open another one. Well, I really impressed how this Jokari XL works. Wonderful for this fat cable which doesn't even fit here. I was a bit concerned to use this tool because I have to figure out the right distance for the cart here. Insulation, and nothing protects eternal cables if I will hit them. So, but this did job very well. I really like it. So well, now let's find the numbers on the cable. Yeah, I will try to find them first. Yeah guys, it's quite challenging. Through the phone now you can see 1 you can see, yeah, 11. Oh, let's try it this way. Please focus on the cable, please. Yeah, 11, yeah, 11, yeah. Here you can see 8. There you can see 7, and you can see 2, or maybe it's 12, not 21. Well, it will be a little bit inconvenient to work through the phone. You can see them. In real life it will be difficult. Yeah, you might want pre-color them to put some labels in advance. Let's briefly take a look on the data sheet, or actually prices. So you can see this 12 by 2.5, 7 euros per meter. I think it's easy for you to understand 7 by 1.5 because you use this in electric usually, and that's the price for control cable, or 2 by 2.5. That is the price. Or for example, screen it or EMC protected 2.8 for 4 by 2.5. That is about the prices, yeah. So the data sheet you can just find in internet. I think it will be too boring if I cover all subjects now. The main subject that is basically resistant to everything. Okay, here outdoor use only with UV protection, allowing for temperature range. Yeah, guys, you should go through the user manual to watch them. I protect them in the corrugated pipe, so I don't care much about oil and everything resistance. However, they are not tinted copper, yeah, unfortunately. That's it. And where I applied these control cables, for example here, cable for 12, because for some automation, for water flood monitoring temperature from here to there, 12 cables inside this box. You can see barrier terminal block. It's covered on my channel, everything is covered. So it's 12 1.5 cables inside one cable. So yeah, and here we come to the insulation, to the perfect insulation that we need. For example, here I also apply this, as you can see there, for the speakers. So speaker will be here. Why this wrong cable, not tinted copper? There I applied the tinted copper, a piece that I had from Lenco tops, but here not, because I need the round cable for sealing in the cable glands. You may say there are flat cable sealings. Yeah, it is. I don't want to cover more details. So the right sealing with the right marine grade shrinking tubes with adhesive layer, with glue, with good terminals. Anyway, you can see the copper there. So it will corrode, it will oxidize if I will not cover additionally connection part with shrinking tube again. So that's where I used them. I think that's all about these cables. If I forgot something, ask me in comments. But I think I covered like all basic things about them, and now you know them better. Once again, it's very wrong to use this cable in terms of corrosion. I a bit regret that I used them in speakers already. But guys, again and again, it's all about the end of the terminal connection insulation. So pay much attention to this. In this video, I don't cover the subject about gauges of the cables, because it's up to your design, up to your system, where and what cables you use. But maybe I will record a video about it, but I think there are better in better English exist. I just want to mention this nice Blue Sea Systems diagram, which is for metric and also imperial systems cables, and it explains what length for what amperage with what voltage drop you can use. It's really nice to use when you design any system and fuses. Now we will test all that stuff, cables, and together with corrugated pipes in the cold condition. Together with that stuff, it was recorded long time ago. So, and it's not only about cables but also about these corrugated pipes. I will probably tell you about the right marine grade corrugated pipes later. Let's see, I am not yet sure, but at least the test will include them, because the test is done together with cables in the same day. So I will include the recorded material recorded before. And now we have -30, and it's a good opportunity to check all flexibility claims, etc. This stuff is here at -30 for a day. And also some stuff is here in this box. My non-scientific approach will be that I pick up some of the stuff, go quickly here and start bending, and we watch what happens. I don't want to do this outside. It's almost feeling like almost -40. So, and that's why I first bend, we watch, and then I tell you what was this stuff. Guys, it was AUPROTEC, I don't know how you say this correctly, loom for -40 rated, and made in German, really made in German. And guys, this really awesome. I don't see any difference between bending quality in room temperature condition and cold condition. It was one day at -30, so it's quite enough. Well, really awesome stuff, yeah. So guys, it was worth medium hard loom that is also claimed to -40. So Worth is German company. I'm not sure if this actually made in German, maybe in China, but definitely under their control. I think it was 13 millimeters. You have seen no damage, any kind of. So, and about bending properties, I don't have now any in the room condition, but it's a little bit hard, but it's probably correspond to the name, like medium hard. Anyway, it's also a good stuff. Let me show you on the next item how quickly I come from the outside to here, so that you have no doubts that we spent too much time in warm place. So guys, you have seen how quickly I come here, and I brought this piece, really cold and so stiff. It's rubber cable, rubber. Yeah, so it's so stiff. And so cold. My hands are white, you can see. Yeah, bending is difficult, but we don't need to bend this on the cold. But nothing is damaging here. So the cables inside are actually quite well for bending. Yeah, so it's just rubber cable. I should find specification for this, yeah, and show you. Top Cable Xtrem. It's actually also German, if I remember right. Here is part number 7 by 1.5. Guys, this stuff doesn't have any issues. It's similar, like I bend it here, I don't even feel that it's cold, or here in room temperature. So it's this Worth stuff. They use this protective spiral for hydraulic solutions. Here is no information about minus temperature for some reason, I don't know, but for sure this is for cold conditions, because they use this, for example, on tractors in winter time in Finland. So at least minus 40. So that's fine, no problems with that stuff. And that's already something really interesting. This is Ancor. They are brave about telling how good is their insulation at minus 40. But look, this nice piece of art that is difficult to unbend. And it was just minus 30, maybe already minus 25. Yeah, well, guys, for example, in compare with rubber cable that we tested, yeah, of course, it's also difficult to bend, but a little bit easier than this one. So yeah, let's check if I can damage insulation. It's already getting warm from my hands. Well, probably I cannot damage it. What about stress on this? Yeah. Well. About flexibility, guys. Flexibility, yeah? So, let me remind you this stuff. Yeah. I wouldn't call this flexible at all at minus 30. So I kind of regret. Fortunately, I don't explore my board at minus 30. Yeah, because the lake is covered. So that's what we have. Guys, this is the solar cable with double insulation. I will show you soon. And it's a nice piece of pasta. Yeah, it's not flexible. It's but I cannot damage the insulation, which is the good point, really good point. Yeah. So now it's already quite warm. So not much flexible. But the insulation looks fine. And there is a piece of this cable. And guys, this is the smaller gauge, I think gauge 10 of Ancor cable. Well, flexible? No, at minus 30, maybe already minus 25. It's getting recovered to be flexible quite quickly. Well, can I damage the insulation after cold? No, which is good point. But flexibility, I wouldn't say that is good. I think I have to compare with some other cable. I have to figure out, actually, can we say that it's damaged here? No. So I have to figure out to find some other cable to compare with. So I wouldn't trust fully in their best ever flexibility claim. Yeah. Ooh. Well, guys, that is the control cable. Yeah. So, and it's really stiff after minus 30. And again, my hands are cold. So it's that one. Yeah, by the way, what about Eternal? Yeah, it's more or less fine. So it's again about this insulation. We will soon look what is rated for, but it's really stiff. Yeah, the same like rubber cable. So which modification is it? Yeah, but by the way, wait a moment. Okay, So it's 12 cores by 2.5. That's really big cable. But again, could I broke the insulation? Oh, I can't even bend it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, but otherwise, at least I cannot broke it. Yeah. And maybe I shouldn't, because usually if you have any movement in your installation, they are not rated for minus 40 then. So yeah, it's down to minus 40 degrees Celsius if you use it for fixed installation, otherwise minus 5, which is logical because you can damage insulation. And now I will show you how I measure temperatures, and we will discuss other cable solutions that I plan to use in the board. And the temperature control, by the way, I'm doing with help of eye socket. Sorry, can I explain people how I do this? Was it sorry? Was it yes or no? Could you repeat? I still don't understand it, but okay. So with help of this eye socket, actually this, and this one, yeah. So here you can see the sensor. Another sensor is here. It's just 1 meter distance, but the different temperature, which is absolutely right. Even in a couple centimeters, you will have the different temperature. So another sensor is going there. You can see the white cable. It goes to the roof under the snow, and I know the temperature there. And you can see the black cable. It's not the sensor is somewhere there. So for real outdoor temperature measurements, and it's connected to this eye socket. These cables for the temperature sensors from eye socket, they actually withstand this cold. I don't make anything else with them. You can see this white there. However, the end of the cable is covered with extra PVC. This is actually for water protection. If you put this to salt water of fish tank, I found that this insulation will be damaged, crushed in the cold conditions after 1 or 2 years. But I don't care about it too much. It's for the different purposes, and it's quite difficult to remove. But this cable withstand this cold quite fine. But as you have seen, actually, I'm not sure that in this project, in case of installation another sensor with similar cable, floor detection sensor, I covered this with shrinking tube additionally. So if you wish, you also can do this. I don't want. And this black cable is actually twisted pair Cat.7 Draka German cable, one of the best. Again, I was thinking to use it in my board for communication between consoles. So this is acceptable for outdoor, and now it's in minus 30. I will go there for you and we'll try to bend it. Let's see what happens. So this is the cable that I use for communication here with eye socket, and here with snow measurements controller, let's call it this way. It's a little bit different stuff, but anyway, so it's measure snow weight 16 kilos right now. It's TLM8 unit from Laumas Electronics, Italy. Previously I had ATO unit here. It was from the company that pretends to be the US company, but actually shipping Chinese junk directly from China. This is awesome unit from Laumas Electronics, Italy, and I plan to connect it. I actually already connected this into eye socket to read this value remotely to my dashboard directly. I will go there for you and we'll try to bend it. Let's see what happens. Should I go? Let's try again. It's too cold here, guys, so I cannot show you all details, but it looks like I had some damages here. That's why the problem is. If I try to bend in another location, yeah, so it's quite well here. So, well, good. So guys, this Draka cable, I will try to find datasheet later. If I will show you, and we will check conditions of use. But here you can see Draka, yeah, indoor outdoor Cat.7 super screen 26 SFTP 4P LSHF DCA something else. Yeah, so that's the cable. Well, and about bending in warm condition, well, actually in garage also not so warm. It's about 13 degrees now. So when I bend it, I feel it's almost similar to the bending I did outside. So yes, I can say that it's a good solution, and probably it broke in the beginning because of some damage I had there to the insulation, maybe when I stripped it before. I'm not sure, guys, why, but in my non-scientific method it looks the same bending force. Let's say I apply here at plus 13, 15, similar to at minus 30. So, and yes, about where to use, communication between two consoles for different signals. Well guys, actually, if my conclusion about insulation that I stressed during installation in summertime is correct, and that's why it now broke here and not here, then it means how important is not to stress the insulation during installation, because you then break the properties, yeah, let's say this way. Or if my conclusion about sealing issue, that the water was there, is correct, then it is important also to seal it well. So after all, I think it was just some issue with about 10 centimeters in the beginning, and that's it, and everything fine here. Guys, and here I have another Cat.7. I cut a piece to put outdoor. I'm not sure if this is true German or similar to ATO, the company that pretends to be the US company. So I should research on this, but I will put this until tomorrow. The weather forecast is still unfortunately minus 30, so we will see what happens. So this one is twisted pair from another manufacturer, and I already bent it a few times. Now I cannot break it. Yeah, of course it's not bending well, but you don't do this usually at minus 30 outside, so I think that's also fine from that point of view. And this Cat.7 Draka I applied, you can see it over there. So it goes through the corrugated pipe channel along with this 12 core cables, and it will go there. I will be providing eye socket temperature sensor measurement to the eye socket control panel there. Maybe some other data later. Guys, instead of conclusion, let's just make a short section for dummies. Yeah, Why do you need conclusion if you are not dummies in wiring in cables? Then you just have chapters, time codes in the description, and you just watch the subject you are interested in. We are all dummies in some questions, so it's fine to ask questions and be dummies in something. So I have seen questions: can I use electrical cable for speakers? Or, for example, what gauge of cable should I use there or there? Or something like that. Can I use that cable there? Guys, the cable, the wire, the cable is just a piece of copper inside insulation. That's it. So, diameter or like gauge of cable is about what current it will pass without heating, damaging, fire, and insulation is about where you apply it. That's it basically. So why do you need a specific cable for speakers? Usually it's something shaped like this and often in transparent insulation. You don't. You can use that one. It's absolutely fine. Yeah, so about the gauge, just consider what kind of length and power of your speakers. The same everywhere. Yeah, and insulation, depending where you install it, where you use, and depending on regulations you have. So that's basically it. That's all. So thanks, bye, subscribe.